Good morning and happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopped on just to chat with you a little bit. Saw this video yesterday, and you all were on yesterday. I told you that I attended a marriage conference on Saturday, so still have a lot of things on my mind, a lot of thoughts flowing through my head as it pertains to marriage. Um, but saw this clip yesterday, talking about women, talking to women who are married, and talking about your if you have any single friends, just saying that you can't, not only single friends, your mind, you can't still be single in your mind. Just saying that um once you're married, you have to change your way of thinking. And that could be a number of things. Like, as for myself, I once was a single mom, so when I got married, it was there was an adjustment, for me, just because I was used to doing things, kind of, doing certain things on my own. So there there was an adjustment for me. But the video was talking about, he was, I think it was TD Jakes, and he was just saying how if you're married and you have single friends, you can't bring the stuff that your single friends are doing and saying. You can't bring that stuff home. You can't bring that stuff into your relationship. You can't bring that stuff into your marriage, because it's a it's a whole different mindset. And he spoke about how, you bring that your single friend's mindset home to your house, and then you end up destroying your home, destroying your relationship. And they're already single, they don't have anybody, so now they done messed up your marriage and your relationship. Like, you gotta stop and think about um stop and think about what you're doing. And also, I wanted to speak about, I thought about when you're in a marriage and you guys might be walking around mad at each other, or somebody, the husband or wife, whatever, did something to each other, and it's like, I ain't talking to him, and that type of stuff. Like, that is a trick of the enemy. If you're walking around for days and days mad at your husband, you have believed a lie. like you have believed a lie. There's no way that um that husband and wife should be in the same house. Two people that love each other, that have that are in covenant with each other, because when you get married, like, that's a covenant that you make before God. There is no way that you can be walking around mad at somebody for so many days. Like, one of you has to speak. One of you got to say, hey, I'm sorry, I apologize. And I know that it's not always easy, because I can speak for myself. Like, it's not hard for me to, I'm not hard. It's not easy for me to say sorry. Like, I don't know what it is. I told you before, like, maybe it might be pride in me, but it's hard for me to say sorry. And I'm so ashamed telling y'all that. But yeah, it's not easy for me to apologize. But I am getting better at it. But I just how can I put this? Satan does not want marriages to succeed. He does not want to see successful and happy marriages, because when marriages are successful, when they are working well, when your children see that, and your children generally grow up strong, and they grow up, like, it's a different thing. Like, children that grow up, when they see how mom and dad are married and how they work things out, how they work together, how they are a team, they have that same mindset. So they go out in the world, and they generally will, do the same thing. I think strong marriages make strong communities. Strong communities make, it keeps growing. Like I think the marriage is the how do I say it? It's the smallest. It starts there, but it keeps growing. It keeps growing. It keeps getting bigger, and I'm about to talk about something I'm not supposed to be talking about. But thinking about dads and how important the role of the father is. That's because I'm a teacher. Not that's because. That's one of the reasons that I um think about this often. I'm a teacher, and generally, not all the time, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but generally, the children with the most severe behavioral things, generally the father is absent. And I'm not, like I'm saying, that does not go for everybody, but a lot of times, father is not there, and it affects it affects children differently. It affects children differently, and I think it's all connected somehow, and I'm still working it out in my mind. I'm still working it out in my mind just how um, Satan knows that if he can keep husband and wife mad at each other, if he can separate, if he can break them up, he can. It's gonna trickle down to the children. It's a domino effect. Like mom and dad have a like a negative relationship for the kids. Like it ends up affecting them. It ends up affecting them in some sort of way. Different children, it affects them differently, but there definitely is um, an attack on marriage. So I also want to say that if you are a married person, I think that you should. I think like if you're involved in a church or you have a church, I think that community is important. I think that who you are around, you're spending your time with, who you are talking to, is really, really